Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this session of our webinar. And I'm KC Lau here from kclau.com. And every week we bring to you the experts in their field to talk about some money tips and some investment area that we can share with all Malaysians here. Today I have David and also Tim from Brickfield. They are the active agent around KLCC area, and today they're going to bring to you some information if you are interested in investing in KLCC area. So let's welcome David and also Tim.
Hi, afternoon.
Hello, hello.
I'm KC. So this is Tim and David here.
So glad to have you guys again. Also, last time you shared with us about KL Central, and this session we're going to talk about KLCC. And and by the way, for the past few years, we sort of realized that KLCC support a lot of the oil and gas sector. So at the time when oil price is low, we have a lot of expats leaving the country, and a lot of people losing their job as well. But how about now? And we really want to know about the details. So let's hear what you are going to share with us.
All right. Yeah, we start. Can we start?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, sure. Okay. So talking about the KLCC as a place, which is actually the heart of in Malaysia. So it's like a place when you go over to China, then people will talk about Beijing and Shanghai. When you go over to Korea, people talk about Seoul. Of course, when you come over to Malaysia, then it makes sense for you to talk about KLCC as a place, as the heart, as the main developed place. So KLCC basically is like the icon of Malaysia, the pride for Malaysian. Wherever we go, people will know that, hey, you are actually from this place with these two jagung corn in your city. Yeah. So we'll come about some of the histories about KLCC. So this figure on the left is actually showing the previous former site of KLCC. It was actually Selangor Turf Club. This was actually a land reclaimed by our state government back then, and our former Prime Minister and current, which is also our current Prime Minister, decided to build the tallest tower here. It's actually to signify that our country's increasing wealth, and it's actually became the tallest tower in the world during 1996, and also up to date is actually the sixth tallest tower in the world. Yeah. So coming to this figure, you actually see is that this is actually the construction stage, throughout the construction stage of this KLCC tower. And it's actually a miracle superstructure building in this soil ground, because this soil ground, which was formerly used as Selangor Turf Club, is actually a very soft kind of ground. To build this, to have this superstructure building at this place is actually a miracle, and it's so magnificent to have this. And according to my information, for those architecture students who are studying master, they actually have to do a research on this. And I did some of the studies that actually on the foundation itself, we took about 500 tons of cement to build out the foundation itself.
I'm Tim here. Just to add on to this tower, actually, Dr. Mother is pretty smart in building twin towers. He actually engaged two different companies from two different countries. So Tower 1 was actually built by a joint venture led by Japan's Hazama Corp. And the second tower was actually a joint venture led by Samsung. So he actually allowed both countries to come in to have a healthy competition and try to outshine one another. Hence, you get this magnificent, very solid twin tower today. Yeah.
So we have like half Korean and half Japanese on KLCC.
Yeah, half Korean and half Japanese, correct.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So as a heart of Malaysia, which is in KLCC, KLCC is pretty accessible everywhere. If you are in everywhere in Klang Valley, you actually takes 15 minutes or 20 minutes for you to drive to downtown. Yeah, and you can actually take public transport like RRT or monorail, and you can even take a bus nowadays. Yeah, it's actually on the left. You can see that there's a route on the bus route how to travel to KLCC. That is why so many people that are working here or they stay around this area, because it's so convenient for them. And this is the location map of KLCC. As you can see, in terms of numbers of KLCC, the whole piece of land is actually 100 acres. It's a master mixed development plan. And it's considered one of the biggest mixed development plan in KL, in Malaysia. They actually separated title into 22 titles, and all the other buildings and all the other offices and residences actually built around these 50 acres parks, which known as this KLCC Park. Yes. And for this tallest tower, it's actually an 88 floors office tower. One of the towers is actually occupied by Petronas itself. The other towers was actually used mainly to lease out. And as a main shopping area and a tourist spot, this place actually has 2.8 million of local tourists and also 3.9 foreign tourists annually. And according to our data research, our government actually expects a 3% year-to-year growth for the next 20 years on visitor to this place. This is actually a place for you to live, to work, and you'll find entertainment on nightlife and everything that you wanted here. Of course, besides building all these superstructures, building offices that are coming up and residential around this area, our government actually did something to preserve some of the historical architectural buildings around this area to attract those who have this sentimental value for tourists to take photos and come by to visit. Yeah. Okay, this is the map for distribution of these tourism products in Malaysia. This is taken via this BBKL website. As you can see, one of the biggest recreational and health resources, which is the KLCC Park, is actually situated in this KLCC Park, which is known as KLCC Park. And most of the cultural and urban visitor resources are actually located in this city center. As you can see from the map, the red color and orange color highlighted area. Okay. This is actually KLCC aerial view. It's current photo, which previously we've shown you the construction stage photo. This is the current two jagong that stood at the city center. And of course, this is KLCC Park. I believe that this is one of the thing that government did to ensure we have a place for greeneries beside you getting all into the concrete jungle. You actually have a place to relax and have fresh breath, fresh air, and bring your kids to have a look. And at night, you actually can go to have a look at the water fountain and the middle. It's actually pretty nice. I actually like it quite much. And I believe that most of Malaysian here actually traveled to this place at least once in their life. Okay. Of course, before we move into talking about properties in KLCC area, we don't go into compare it in terms of the whole Malaysia first. We compare it in terms of the whole Asia region. Because when we go to all the other countries, I believe that the first thing that we go into, we will look into the main city. Just like Japan, we will go into Tokyo and all this. Okay, this is competitiveness rating Malaysia compared to Asia. Competitiveness rating actually compared in the sense of economic growth, environment, health, education, and some other factors that look into. So Malaysia actually stood at the 5th place compared to other Asia region. So it's not too bad. It's actually quite a livable country, which is healthy and in terms of economic growth and people here. Yeah. Okay, the next thing we're going to look into is the square meter price comparison, Malaysia as a place compared to Asia. So this is per square meter is equivalent to 10.41 square foot. Yeah, about that. So Malaysia actually, from the list, Malaysia is actually number 8 compared to other Asia country. Like, of course, we don't compare to so much to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a small place which you actually have a lot of demands. A place where you have to rent a small apartments, 400 over square foot at 14,000 ringgit. Yeah, and of course, Malaysia in terms of pricing is quite competitive and quite affordable. This is why a lot of foreigners and China, especially China buyer recently, they will come into Malaysia to buy property and to settle down here. And to my amaze is that I just had a conversation with my friends last night, because he's a businessman and traveled everywhere, and he actually traveled to Myanmar recently, and he actually told me that, hey David, do you know that Malaysian is actually very blessed to be in this place, because in terms of living and all this, we are okay. And in terms of property price, Malaysia actually has lower pricing compared to places like Myanmar. And of course, talking about economic factor, government, political stability and all this, Malaysia actually has all these advantages, which compared to other upcoming development countries. Okay. Because of all this, because of all the factors and all the prestigious address in this KLCC area, there are a lot of, you can see, there's an influx of a lot of premium residents coming into this, filling up this KLCC area. Yeah, they want to take a place in this premium address place. Of course, with all these premium residences, like recently there are Four Seasons, there are like more pavilion residences and all this. And you can see from the list that's the transacted price.
Just to add on, I think the prices here is a little bit outdated. Harrods Residence is actually, if not mistaken, is already cancelled. I heard rumors that Armani Residence, Giorgio Armani Residence, is going to come in right across Pavilion. And of course, we have 8 Conley, which is already in construction. Banyan Tree by Pavilion, yeah, Banyan Suites, and then Four Seasons Place. Actually, the per square feet price for Four Seasons Place is actually 3,500 ringgit now, 3,500 to 3,600 ringgit. A little bit units left, not much. And then Troika was much before this. W Residence is around 3,000 ringgit, if not mistaken, now. Yeah, and of course, we are seeing more and more branded residents coming into KL, which is not in the list here yet.
KLCC as a place which actually a lot of, it's actually one of our main business and commercial hub in Malaysia. And a lot of multinational companies is actually eyeing on this place to set foot, to have their buildings and even offices in this place, to own this prestigious address, for them to actually have a chance to market their company, to be able to shine a little in our countries, in Malaysia. And it's pretty accessible. because of that, a lot of it's convenient for them to travel here to work and to stay around, to arrange their staff from overseas to come and stay around in this area. So this is some of the commercial developments around this area. And also we actually have some of the MSC status building tower around this area, like Cap Square, Petronas Tower, around this area. Okay, so the rental market around for offices around this area, because of the oil and gas industry and some of the servicing industry are actually in KLCC itself. Yeah. And rental for the price in this area is about up from 5 ringgit per square foot onwards. Yeah. According to what is mentioned is that the occupancy rate is about not less than 85.3%. So some of the commercial developments transaction we actually got online. This is on block selling. You can actually see that a lot of multinational companies and also some of the local companies like Top Glove actually acquiring buildings around this area. The transaction number is not low, you know, it's pretty high, and all these companies, they actually wanted to have a place for them to shine in this area, to show that they are really doing well with their companies and all this. This is coming into the strata office and some of the transacted prices and the sizes available and what are the growth like. Averagely, the lower one would be the one up from 6% onwards. So of course, because of this prestigious address and premium address, a lot of branded residence and residential developments, you can see that a lot coming into KLCC area. So one of the developments that stood between this Petronas Tower and KLCC Park is actually this Four Seasons Place, which is the branded residence and hotels known worldwide. Every country there only have one Four Seasons, and the Four Seasons in Malaysia is located right next to KLCC. So they actually set a new record on penthouse selling at 3,026 per square foot, which actually broke the record of previous transaction of Binjai on the Park, which is 2,009 per square foot. Okay, some of the branded residential developments you can actually see from the list actually made the new residents, some of the new residents on top of the list, like NOUVEL. NOUVEL is actually designed by one of the France designer. It's actually, I personally went there. It's actually pretty amazing on the architecture. You don't feel like you won't feel that you are actually living in a city, where it actually feels like it's nice to be at home, not like every other part of the city. Maybe you feel that it's very cramped, it's noisy, it's very happening. But this residence is okay. You realize that you will see that Binjai residencies and all the others. And the first photo on the list we actually took from Park 7, which I have a friend that stays there. So I actually went over to visit them on New Year. So I took the photo from Park 7 itself. So this is actually taken by team at Four Seasons Place, which he actually did a transaction at this place. Yeah, this is actually the site where facing KLCC Park.
Yeah, hi, just to add on a little bit, yeah, like what David had mentioned earlier on all the points, I actually deal with a lot of foreign clients, and one of the reasons why they like to invest in Malaysia is, of course, the relatively cheaper price per square feet in Malaysia. And of course, economically, we are much more stable than a lot of Asian countries around us. Politically, we are more stable also. And of course, they don't have any language barriers. So one of the reasons, one of the key points of them investing here is, of course, because of all this. And of course, recently there's a slowdown because of the change of government. A lot of foreigners are just unsure what's going to happen to our country. So they're pulling the handbrake now and they're just observing. But like what I mentioned earlier, my client bought this place at 3,500 per square feet. It was a 2,000 plus square feet condominium. 3-bedroom, and it was around 9.2 million. They're willing to pay this price because it's the cheapest Four Seasons he had ever bought in the world, and that's in KL. And of course, you get this unblocked, beautiful park view. If you have been in New York, you could relate to Central Park. If you've been to London, you could have related to Hyde Park. And yeah, that's something different about KLCC than other upcoming locations like Tun Razak Exchange or other places. There's just something very different with the planning of this place and the architectures and the park and everything. It's just something different, and that's what KLCC offers.
Okay. So of course, we don't forget about this NOUVEL, which is situated right opposite of Petronas Twin Tower. So as I mentioned just now, this is some of the places in the launch public common facility areas on the left, and also
this is sorry, the picture below is another of my clients' unit. So just to talk a little bit about this place. So this place is built by Wing Thai Asia. It's a very unique development because there's vertical greeneries across 2 towers. If you haven't noticed it, it's right in front of KLCC, just facing the main entrance next to Avenue K. And what's special about this is actually one of the block is kept by the developer. They're not selling it, they're just using it for leasing purposes because they believe that KLCC price is still in a very early stage. We are still a developing country, so 3,000 ringgit per square feet is actually very, very cheap. So they prefer not to sell it currently. They're just keeping it for rental purposes. And the rental here is pretty high, to be honest. And there are a lot of people paying these prices. People that work in the embassy, people that work in Petronas. And I've done transactions here before. The 2-bedroom condominium is going for around 15,000 ringgit a month for rental. And the 3-bedroom is around 19,000 ringgit a month, depending on the furnishing. And there are a lot of people actually occupying these 2 buildings. It's just right across. And I think before the beginning of the session, KC actually talked about the oil prices and everything. So yeah, I think Petronas is doing a little bit better this past few years because from what I know that Microsoft have left Petronas and have moved to KL Central because they actually wanted to use back the office space. They have not insufficient office space. That's why Microsoft have to move their office from KLCC to KL Central. Yeah, so I believe that Malaysia is doing well. We're just in a period of a little bit of uncertainty, but the outlook is going to be great, I believe. Yeah, so moving on, David.
Okay, we'll talk about later on amenities in this area, in KLCC area. So they're actually one of the healthcare center situated in the 4th floor of KLCC Surya Shopping Mall. This is actually known as this Twin Tower Medical Center. If you actually go through our web to check out, there actually has quite a number of positive reviews from all the clients elsewhere, because they are actually one-stop polyclinic providing all the healthcare to all the people that went to see them. It's actually quite efficient on their response and all this. They are receiving quite a number of positive feedback. Because if you are there in KLCC and you need clinics to check out, you can actually basically go over to check it out yourself.
Yeah, I think just to add on the healthcare, if you notice also there's another very big medical center in KLCC. It's called the Prince Court Medical Center. So Prince Court Medical Center, just some facts. Prince Court Medical Center was actually owned by Petronas before this. And actually last year, around March 22nd, Khazanah Investment Fund, Malaysia's sovereign wealth fund, actually expressed interest to acquire the entire Prince Court Medical Center. They bought over 100% stake, and it was undisclosed, the price, unfortunately. So I wouldn't be able to let you know how much it was sold for.
Coming to education, this is some of the international schools that are in walking vicinity in KLCC area. So coming into Eastern House International School, which is actually situated at Giant's Donor, this school actually uses this educational approach of regional children in regional area. I actually did some of the studies, and this approach is actually basically focusing on learning through relationship, quite a relational kind of educational approach. And coming to Fairview International School, which they have this international baccalaureate program, which they focus a lot on international learning, which they have a lot of international students, and also they actually organize trips to overseas once in a while for the students to have exposure towards overseas education and culture. And come to Alice Smith International School, that they are focusing a lot on student self-esteem. They actually use British program to teach their students a lot, and it's quite a different approach from these three international schools, which students in this area or foreigners in this area, they actually send according to the parents think which is the best for their children. And three of the international school actually has been doing quite well in this area, I would say. Yeah. So some of the research and data were actually found on the age market. This is on the rental market and the transacted price. As we can see that KLCC has been a little going down on the rental yield itself because of all the residential developments that influx to this area. As you realize that we mentioned earlier on, there are so many residential developments that are coming up to this area. But of course, as a place compared to other places, I would say that if you did your studies well, it's not that all the developments that are doing so badly, because research would always show you some data on averagely what are the end result like. Of course, there are still some of the developments around KLCC area that the owner has been gaining positive return, which at least cover their installments and servicing fee, and even more than that. Of course, you need to do your studies well, and you need to understand this whole area and do a little research and check out all this. Okay, this is some of the transaction records that I generated from Bricks.my. You actually see that this is all the branded residents around this area, which is Banyan Tree, which actually this is transacted on sub-sales, not just on the primary market from developer. It's actually transacted bought over from the second-hand buyer. So one of the places that did well is actually Platinum Suites, Face Suite. This is some of the historical investment performance. Overall, KLCC for the past 10 years, they are still gaining a 8.3% growth. So it's not too bad. It's still, even the rental market might not be doing well. We are eyeing on the capital appreciation side. KLCC as a place, they are still doing quite positively and gaining quite a good number of tractions around this area. Around this area. Okay, before the influx of residentials to KLCC, this area, is demand really oversupply in this place, which would be a concern for a lot of people when they think about KLCC, especially Malaysian. So some of the more upcoming developments are going to happen around this area. Even though we see that there are a lot of offices that is going to be built here, but what happened is that on June 22nd, they actually announced that from KLCC Holding Berhad, they actually mentioned they will build more office tower around this area to bridge the gap of the supply to the demand. The demand of having commercial space or offices in this area. And this is from the inch. Okay, this is the current asking rental in terms of residential in this area, which you can actually search online. You can get it.
I just want to go back to the previous slide, the current asking rental. Yeah, we can't really have average pricing in KLCC because the product there is very, very different. You have luxury residents, you have branded residents, and then you have normal service residences, which ranges from maybe 1,000, like the slightly cheaper end will be like Sky Suites and all, around 1,002 per square feet. Then you can hit a higher price range like Star Residences, going for 2,000 plus per square feet. And then you hit a higher benchmark, you reach Four Seasons, that's around 3,005, 8 Conley around that price and all. So it's very hard to find a median pricing. Yeah, but the average rental in KLCC for the cheaper product, much more affordable, I'll say, it'll be around 4 to 5 ringgit. And then the higher ends one, people are willing to pay a premium of up to 10 to 11 ringgit per square feet for rental. Yeah, short-term stays is also doing very well in KLCC. KLCC is actually one of the hotspots for Airbnb, putting KL Central aside. So because there's a lot of bars, eateries, restaurants, the landmark, everything is here. So people want to live it around this place. And also youngsters like to book these places for proposal, parties and everything. So these are some of the pricing that's going on Airbnb websites. And the occupancy rate here is actually really, really good. I have a friend that's doing Airbnb business around this area. They're doing around 80 to 85% occupancy rate a month, which is very, very high. And they are mainly tourists. Yeah, so you can see Vortex, the face suites. Just now they were talking about the face suites, which have very good sub-sale transactions. And then May Tower is a bit old. The Sky Residences, not really in KLCC, but have a very beautiful, fantastic unblocked KLCC skyline view. This is also one of the reasons people like to stay around this area.
Continue on. You can see that this is some of the hotel rates and per night in KLCC area, because Four Seasons in KL just next to KLCC, which gives you the feels of being premium and bring advantages to stay in this area. The rate was checked when 2 days or 3 days ago. This is the rate given when I check on Google. So this is some of the branded hotels that around KLCC area basically. So which actually bring a gap for all the residential developments for them to actually run Airbnb at a lower rate compared to the hotels that are running at this rate.
So like what David mentioned earlier, we look at it at a point that KLCC rental on average is not doing the best. And of course, in every single location, I believe, even in Mont Kiara and KL Central, there are certain residential developments that are doing better than the others. So I think some of the things that property investors always have to consider when buying into a place, of course, first thing is location. Because when you talk about KLCC is huge. And when you talk about branded residence, there are a lot. So why would people want to rent mine over yours? So location is of course very important. Everywhere everywhere is KLCC, but how accessible, how far is the walking distance to the Twin Towers, or how close are we to a public transport? The price, of course, is very important. Property is always about pricing. Everyone wants to make money. Rental pricing, capital appreciation. So buying something at the right price is very, very important also. And of course, of the sizes of units, are you looking for investment? Are you looking for own use? If you're looking for investment, are you looking to for short-term rentals, long-term rentals, capital appreciation? Yeah, well, I think investors really need to know what they're going for, what they're looking for. And of course, spacing and view is extremely important if you're looking for rental income. Yeah, I deal with a lot of foreigners, and the view is actually very, very important to them, because since they're already paying such a premium price, say an example, if I'm paying 12,000 ringgit to get a 3-bedroom, and if I'm not facing an open view, I'm facing another building, might as well pay 13,000, be 1,000 ringgit extra and get a proper view. Yeah, they'll be willing to pay this premium price, because most of the time it's the company or it's the embassy that's going to pay for their rental. And package given by developer, it's also very important when you look into buy a property. So I think these are some of the things that every investor have to really consider. Yeah, okay. So, Casey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm still paying attention to listen to you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So great. Thanks, David and team, for giving us all this information. Let's have some time for Q&A. So for those who are interested to ask any questions, so since I think team have done a lot of transaction over there, whether it's buy, sell, or even like the rental market tenancy agreement, stuff like that. So please post your question using the Q&A box so we can help you with that. The first question I would like to ask, right, if we are starting to get the first property in KLCC area, and we're looking for something that is more affordable and more easy to get into, so which project would you recommend?
There are a lot of, I think there are a few that you can look at. There's something across KLCC Mall, if not mistaken, it's called Anggun Residence. Yeah, that's around 1,000.
Sorry, instead of just giving us the name, right? Can you pull up your browser and maybe type in something, like show us the map or something, so that we can have a picture of what to look for, right? Okay, so by the way, we are going to share your information with our audience, so that if they are interested to get something near KLCC, whether for rental or for like purchase for own use or for investment, they can always contact you. So we'll get to that in a minute. You can just open your browser. Have you opened it?
Yeah. Can you see?
Okay. No, we are not seeing it. Probably you have to click the share button again, and then you choose desktop instead of choosing the PowerPoint or stuff like that.
David, how do we share the screen?
Yeah, because we are still seeing your PowerPoint actually.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Okay, now we're seeing your browser. Okay, Anggun Residences.
Yeah, I think this is okay. This is not exactly right smack in KLCC. This is across KLCC Mall. It has a monorail station in front of it. If you're looking something not too expensive, this can be considered. I think this is not bad. And of course, there's another project. I think there's another fantastic project. This is by Monoland. It's actually called Sky Suites in KLCC. Yeah, this is the picture.
So when you talk about Anggun, do we need to take the monorail to get to KLCC, or if walking, is it like 10 or 20, 15?
Yeah, you definitely need to take the train. Okay, I'll just show you Sky Suites first, and then we'll go back to Anggun's location.
No problem.
Yeah, This is actually quite a fantastic product in this location. The plot ratio is a little bit high, but you can always argue with KLCC. The plot ratio is not mistaken; it's actually 10. There's 1,000+ units.
Can you explain about the plot ratio?
Yeah, this plot ratio is actually a little bit on the high side. Yeah, because in KL we know that recently we know that DBKL wants to cap the plot ratio. Some places are extremely high. Like not to mention a name, there's a product in Cheras that's around 3,000+ units. That's way exceeding the plot ratio. So recently DBKL is trying to cap it lower, because think of it, when there's 3,000 people that wants to use the lift, that wants to use the facilities, it's going to be very, very overcrowded. But this plot ratio is a little bit on the high side as well. But we can always argue that it's KLCC, and this is a very, very fantastic location. It's actually near to Room Jungle, the club, if you know where is it, near to Modesto's. It's literally, I think it's 200-300 meters walk to KLCC, to the Louis Vuitton entrance. This is going for around 2,003 per square feet when it was first launched. But the downside of this project is that there's no rebate given. So purchasers actually have to pay a premium of 10%. They have to pay 10% booking fee to purchase this property. Yeah, which is around 120,000 ringgit as a down payment.
Oh, so the lowest unit might be like 1.2 million?
Yeah. If you have that amount of cash, you have that price to pay the down payment, this is actually a pretty good buy, I think. Yeah, it's next to KLCC, very accessible, definitely a fantastic Airbnb material if you're ever going to use it. I'm not sure if you can see it on maps. Can you see it on maps?
Yeah, we're seeing the map now. Nice.
Yeah, so this is Sky Suites. You can see that if you walk down the road here, past Menara TA1, and you're at...
Oh, it's pretty close, right?
Super duper close. Let me see if I can go on a satellite. Yeah, Sky Suites. See, just across the road. This is where Nobu is. Barney on 57. This is this is Menara 3 Petronas. Very, very close. Just now the other one that we were mentioning, just go back. How do I use Windows?
Yeah, you can just type Angun here, I think it will show up.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to use it. So Angun is a little bit slightly out of it, not too far. This is Face Platinum Suites that we were talking about previously. Yeah, so where is KLCC exactly? David, how do you navigate? Yeah, so just to show you, this is Angun, and then down the road, KLCC is somewhere here. So it's actually 2 roads away, 1 and 2. So if you want to be around the city center, this is still considered the city center. If you want to be close by, but you can't pay a super premium price tag, probably this is a good product as well. This is around $1 million plus as well in KL.
So you get a bigger size for this?
Yeah, you get a slightly bigger size for this, and of course, this is completed already. Just handed over recently. I think handed over 2-3 months ago. So you can actually just go into the actual unit, and I don't think there's much unit left. You can just go in and have a look, and just feel the finishing and all. Because Malaysia is not like China or Hong Kong or some other places, Australia, when it's close to completion, only you make a purchase. So where you can actually feel the property or see the structure by yourself. This one, in Malaysia, we're used to buying under construction. So we're buying something that we don't know how it's going to be like. Sometimes it's going to be a nightmare. Sometimes it's going to be a very decent price. So this is completed. So you actually can go in and have a look at the view. Yeah, you won't get a heart attack. And I think that the material that they use is pretty nice. It's very, very nice. I think this is a very nice place.
So Angun and Sky Suite, the recommended one. And how about...
Yeah, for a slightly...
Is there anything that is like less than $1 million?
Less than $1 million in KLCC? I don't... From my understanding, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember there's anything below $1 million in KLCC.
Can we find anything in Hemisphere, like the smaller sizes one?
Hemisphere, you're talking about subsale. Let me check back my this thing. Smaller units. Let me see the recent transaction price.
Oh, so you're using like something like bricks to pull out the information?
You can't get, it's around 1.4, 1.5 million.
Oh, around 1.4, 1.5. Wow.
Yeah. You can't really get that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe Idaman Residence, I'm not sure. Idaman Residence by TA, which is also very close to KLCC. Let me check this. Yeah, you can find Idaman Residence in KLCC. Let me show you where the location is.
Yeah. Nice. You can just click the cross button. You can just click the cross button. Yeah.
Yeah.
Idaman Residence.
So, Idaman Residence is actually very near to, once again, it's very near to Sky Suites. This is Sky Suites. You can see that curve shape. Yep, and right behind here is Idaman Residence.
Oh.
Yeah, so you just need to get off the road, cross Menara TA1, and get to KLCC. Yeah, Idaman Residence you can get 1,000 square feet for around 810,000. So it's around 800 plus per square feet. Because this is completed quite a while ago, not mistaken.
So it's a comparatively an older building, right?
Not very old. Yeah, not very old. Just that people sold it off. Some of my friends that I know, they disposed the property because they used to have a very nice view, and then until Sky Suites came up, so their view got blocked. Yeah, so some people want to make an upgrade or what, so they dispose the property.
I see.
Yeah, but it's one of the cheapest around this area if you're looking for rental income or whatever.
Okay, this is for a potential tenant. He's asking if he's earning less than 5,000 and works in KLCC every day. So where do you recommend him to stay for someone income less than 5,000 a month?
Honestly, 5,000 is a little bit hard unless you go for smaller units. Yeah, like you go for Depot, or you go for you can go for all the studios like Summer Suites. Yeah, but you definitely can't get a 2 to 3 bedroom around this place. Depot Residence 600 square feet is going for around 2,500 ringgit.
I think that's still expensive for him, right? If like he's earning 5,000 but paying 2,000.
Yeah, so that itself really takes up half of his salary. Yeah. It's a bit on the high side because if you look at it, a lot of people think that it's overpriced, but you look at it. I take a simple comparison. Today, if you go to Cheras or if you go to PJ, you go to Damansara Perdana, all these kind of places, you want to rent even a studio. Let's talk about Empire, Damansara Perdana. It's going for around 1,600, 1,700 really, 1,800 ringgit. If it's well furnished, it's around 2,000 ringgit. You go to Mont Kiara, Aquarius recently completed for St. Thomas. It's around 2,500 ringgit for a Soho already, one bedder. So we are talking about downtown KL now, and yet people feel that 2,500 is a little bit expensive. But if you think of the address right, it's actually fairly priced because this is the benchmark of Malaysia properties prices. Yeah, so it's a bit of a challenge to buy to look for something that's lower than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, fair. What about the extension of the KLCC project? So the project between the mosque and the Surya KLCC. Any update on the development? Do you know about?
Oh, the extension. Okay, the extension project, right? Wait. So the extension project is, I think, if not mistaken, I don't have the map now. He's talking about lot M, L, and N. It's lot 164, 165, and 166 in KLCC. It's right in front of Four Seasons. It's right in front of Four Seasons. So before that, right, I heard that Fairmont, Singapore is going to come in to develop that plot. But it's stuck currently. We don't know when is it going completed. But like I said, when I was doing Four Seasons transaction, I've been there up a few times. When I look down, I can see that the whole groundwork is already done. So I believe they're going to build very, very soon. And that's going to be, if not mistaken, it's a 145 stories tower with a 6-story retail podium, direct access to MRT station. So that's going to come up very, very soon. I believe it's coming up very, very soon because for the past last year, I've been there on and off, and I can see that the work, there's works ongoing, but no announcement yet. But the groundwork is definitely done, and I believe that it's going to come up very, very soon. Nobody is, like I say, nobody really know what's happening now because there's a change of government. So everyone is just waiting.
I see.
Yeah.
How about future? Is there any MRT station is going to be going through KLCC?
Yeah, it's going to be, there's going to be a KLCC line there, KLCC East, and also a Conley station that's going to come up at that location.
Okay.
So previously, if you have heard of the Grid by MRCB, it's located at Jalan Kiaping. The project was actually cancelled to facilitate the MRT underground work.
Oh.
Yeah, so there'll be 2 more stations in KLCC.
Okay, I want to know about any studio unit like 550 square feet, the rental market in KL. Is the market healthy? Is the demand there?
Yeah, if you talk about 550, the first few things that come across my mind is Summer Suites by UBM Sunrise. They first started selling at around 800 plus 900 per square feet, and then now it's around 1,000 plus. It's one of the most performing short-term stay in KLCC. In general,
can you show us where is Summer Suite?
Yeah.
On the map? Yeah.
Summer Suite. Summer Walls. Yeah, Summer Suite. Yeah, so that Summer Suites, if you can see it, a lot of people at first they say this place is not going to do well because it's near to a cemetery, the view is not nice and all, it's blocked. But yeah, this place is doing very, very well in terms of short-term stay. The Face Platinum Suites. So there are a lot of agents actually went in to rent the whole place. They signed a deal with the owner, and then they signed another deal to sublet the property, and they manage it like a hotel business. And yeah, and the returns is actually 5 to 6% sometimes, or if it's really, really doing well, it can go up to 8% back to the owner. Yeah, for short-term stay. So this is a trend now in KLCC for smaller units. If you buy at a fairly decent location, walking distance, accessible to everywhere, you're gonna look at very good returns.
So that means like for those who are investing for maybe for doing Airbnb for short-term stay, then Summer Suite is a very good choice, I guess.
Yeah, it's a very good choice. It's a very good choice.
How much is the starting point, the price point?
I think you can find it around 550,000 for smaller units.
I see.
Yeah, you compare next to it, Face Platinum Suites is pretty expensive. Summer Suites, 495 square feet, you probably pay around 500,000 to 540,000.
Okay, good.
Yeah, for 1,000 ringgit per square feet in KLCC is still cheap. I think Cheras, Taman Sara Perdana, Mont Kira, everywhere is going for around 1,000 already. Even the new developments in PJ are going for 1,000. So today you're buying into KLCC at 1,000 ringgit. I don't think it can go any wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Gui Siu Peng want to ask your opinion for 328 Tun Razak property. How this property compare the other from the list that you provided earlier in your slide?
I'm quite sorry. I'm not very sure of this location. I'm not very sure of this product. It's because it's next to KL Trillion.
I see. No problem.
I'm not very sure of it. Yeah, but looking at it, it's across the road. It's at the Trillion side. It's next to the old Doubletree Hilton. Yeah, the accessibility might be not that great. Yeah, David, can you show on the map? 328 rather. Yeah, you can see that this is the highway that we always take to KLCC. Can you all see the mouse? Yeah, so this is where all the activities are. You have the meals, main gallery, everything is here. Yeah, KLCC is somewhere here. So they're actually across the road. So it's, I wouldn't say that it's not great, but I'll say that they might be better choices actually. But of course, there's a market for every product. Yeah, but if you're to look into KLCC and invest in KLCC, probably we might want to move in and look at this area instead. Maybe.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for the advice. How about we get to? How about you guys share your information, your contact information, so that they can directly contact you if they want to engage.
Maybe how do we share your contact?
Negotiate. Maybe go back to your slide. You have it, right? I think you have it on your slides, and
yeah,
you can also type it in the chat box so that they can save it. Yeah, so they can contact David 016-749-0430, and also Tim, right? 017-307-8544.
Yeah, my advice to people is don't be afraid to ask agents questions, because we generally represent a few developers, so our point of view is normally more neutral. We don't really cite any sites. Yeah, we just always be more customer centric. We'll be identifying customers' need and finding something that's more suitable for them. So, and you can always ask us. It's free. You don't have to pay to ask us.
Nice. So how about we get to further questions? Just answer another few.
Okay.
Do you know any more new residents coming to KLCC, like the latest project?
New residents coming to KLCC, yeah. From what I know, right in front of Louis Vuitton, here actually have another plot of land. It's going to be 2 buildings. There's going to be hotel elements included. So this one target launch next year. The project name I don't know yet. And then of course next to W Hotel, David can show on the map. Yeah, we'll show you on the map, so you know where is it. Yeah, so you can look at here. This is W Residence. 747 is definitely not the price. I think it's a hotel per night. Yeah. You can look at this plot of land here. So this plot of land is owned by UEM Sunrise. Angkasa Raya, the project is called. I'm not sure are they going to make any changes, because like I said previously, DBKL is asking every developer that has to resubmit their plot ratio if they have not started building. So I'm not sure if there are going to be any changes here. But this is owned by UEM Sunrise, Angkasa Raya. Supposed to launch last year, but there's some delays. I think there are some problems with the land banks. And then, of course, this is TA's land. TA Global has a piece of land here, launching 2 blocks, including hotel and residence. And then we go down here a little bit. This is where Oxley Towers is. Oh, sorry, this plot of land. This is where Oxley Towers is. So Oxley Towers is actually Jumeirah Hotel is coming in. If you know the Palm in Dubai, yeah, and the Al Arab, the only 7-star hotel, that developer, they're coming in, they're building here. Oxley Towers, 3 towers, Sofitel, Jumeirah, and a block of residents. And then, of course, you have some new projects around this area. You have the Manor and Imperial Lexis also around this place. But generally, there's not much land around KLCC anymore. Yeah, that's why you see an expansion where people start buying into Tun Razak Exchange or maybe Chiras area. KLCC is quite packed already. I heard that Monoland, the builder of Sky Suites, Vport, and all. They have some more land banks here, but nobody really know where is it. And of course, just now we're talking about the Fairmont. This is where Four Seasons is, and this is where the extension of KLCC is, where the tallest building is going to be around this place, where the groundwork is done, but nobody really know what's coming up yet.
I see.
Yeah, so that's roughly what's happening in KLCC now.
Okay, good. So for investors who are looking for like good cash flow properties, or what type of properties should we go in for KLCC?
I would think that you should always look at slightly short-term stay. A lot of people like to buy very big units or trophy properties and expect a return. Like example, if like my buyer that bought Four Seasons, he had already had a mind that when he buy this place, he'll probably not be able to find a tenant that easy, because not everyone is a director of a company, or not everyone around the street can pay 30,000-40,000 ringgit, 20,000 ringgit rental a month. So I think if you buy into a location, always buy the mid-range one if you're looking for investment purposes. Like Anggun is not bad. Sky Suites just now is not bad. The price range is pretty much friendly. It's around 1 million plus. And then your monthly installment will be around 4,500 to 5,000. So if you look at short-term stay, if you do Airbnb, let's say 250 ringgit a night, maybe 17 nights, you'll be able to get a 4-point-something% return already. So if it's a peak season, you might be able to price it a little bit higher. That's why a lot of people can actually get 6%, 7% rental returns in KLCC, because they're buying more of a mid-range product, very easy to rent out, very easy to dispose. Yeah, not too expensive. Someone will be able to buy it from you. So I think that's my advice to people who wants to buy into KLCC.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the great advice. So for guys, if you want to find someone to help you hunt for property in the KLCC area, so go to David and team. They'll be able to help you. So thank you so much. And hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for all the information you have shared with us. And I hope to get you back to talk about KLCC when you have more updates in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.